Hey, what's up? It's Jeffrey Land back with another DUPIXENT update. I just injected myself with treatment number 24 and been on DUPIXENT for almost 2.5 years. Today I want to talk about the benefits of treating asthma and allergies. Usually I've been talking about what it's done for my eczema, which has been nothing short of miraculous. But the benefits of treating my asthma and allergies has been slower to come. Haven't been on DUPIXENT for much longer than probably most people. I got on DUPIXENT literally a couple days after the FDA approved it, and I was actually supposed to be on the clinical trial, so I've been really on this thing from the beginning. And so DUPIXENT does have a lot of long-term benefits that you don't see right away. Like for the skin, if you check back on my very first beginner intro to DUPIXENT video, you'll see, within a couple of hours, my skin started changing and healing and peeling and generating new skin. But for asthma and allergies, I didn't really feel anything for a long time, and it's something that I only noticed when I review these videos back, every 3 months, every 6 months. And I do notice that overall, all of these reactions, skin, asthma, and allergies have calmed down a lot. So for those of you guys who just got on DUPIXENT and if it's not working right away, or if it's not working as much as you thought it would, and just want to give up, I would highly suggest you stick with it, because even after 2.5 years, DUPIXENT is changing my health and improving it from a fundamental immune level deep inside. For asthma, when I started DUPIXENT, I had just tried another one of these biologic injections, and it had made my asthma the worst it's ever been. And even before that, I probably have one of the worst asthma conditions that probably like 95% of doctors I've ever seen. I can literally smell something a mile away from inside a car, and I'll have a reaction to it. You always see me having a mask on, because that's how sensitive my asthma and immune system is to literally everything on the planet. Everything I've been tested for, environmental, food, internal. I'm literally allergic to everything on the planet, and I'm not exaggerating. A lot of people think when I say that it's I'm leaving something out. No, I'm not. I'm literally allergic to everything, and I'll react to it by breathing from asthma, and then I'll react to it internally from allergic reactions and inflammations, and then on the skin through eczema. But all these are fundamentally immune overreaction to allergens and things in the environment. So that's how severe my asthma was. I was just talking to another guy who's on DUPIXENT, and I was telling him that I literally could not run, could not laugh as a kid, because my asthma will get triggered by any kind of emotion or overactivity. So that's why I guess I seem calmer to most people, even though internally, that's not my personality, but because that's how I had to live, dealing with such difficult and severe asthma that a lot of times I couldn't even talk, so just learn to be quiet. So that's where my asthma is coming from. And over the years, there is sometimes where it's slightly better, but I've spent more than my share of days and nights in the ER and going to the ER in the middle of the night for asthma. But after starting DUPIXENT, I've noticed, like, probably every 6 months, looking back, especially the couple days after each injection, my breathing has loosened up a bit. And I don't need to constantly be using my inhaler, because usually the inhaler probably only lasts a couple minutes when I'm having a reaction. It doesn't matter how many times I use the inhaler or even these nebulizers that I have. So I constantly have this on my table because, again, because I'm allergic to so many things, literally everything on the planet. I can get triggered by something to have an asthma reaction at any moment. And it could be very severe that I'll have to take several of these treatments in a row to just keep me from getting suffocated by my own airways closing in, which is what asthma does. So for DUPIXENT, it treats asthma basically by treating allergic reactions that causes inflammations at the very core of the immune response to that. Basically what I have that's causing asthma and allergies and eczema is an astronomical amount of IgEs, which is basically the body's immune chemical that recognizes things to have allergic reactions to. So the more IgEs a person has, the more reactive they are to allergens and the environment. So a normal person probably has about 70, because your immune has to react to the environment and certain dangers out there. So you can't have you don't want to have no immune system at all. But so a normal person probably has about IgE count of about 70, and a person with severe allergies has an IgE count about 200. Well, I have an IgE count of 25,000 for most of my life, and when I started DUPIXENT, and that is just an astronomical amount. Actually, the laboratories that measure that 25,000 that I have, they can't measure that accurately because it's just so far out of what the lab equipment is able to handle for measuring IgEs, because remember, they're more tuned to a normal person of 70 to 100, maybe 1,000. That's what the laboratory measurements of IgEs are designed to do. So even at my 25,000, it's they don't really know how much it is, but it's just way beyond what a human body should be able to handle. Doctors have told me that of an IgE count that high, I should be in constantly sedated, just because the IgE is causing my body to react to literally everything on the planet, and that shouldn't be humanly tolerable. So that's where I started from. Well, about 18 months after starting DUPIXENT, we had another blood test, and my IgEs had fell to about 5,000. And then a couple months later, probably about the 18-month mark, my IgEs had fallen below 3,000 to about 2,800. So my IgEs have fallen almost 10 times, from 23,000, 24,000 down to about 22,800. And I was really excited about that, because that was one of the things that we were trying to do to reduce my overall reactions, allergic reactions, asthma reactions, and eczema skin reactions. However, I didn't feel my reactions were less. I was still feeling like I was having the same amount of asthma, and my food allergies hadn't really gone away. My environmental allergies hadn't really gone away. It's just the IgE counts dropped a lot. So doctors suggested that just stay with it, and I had to stay with it because DUPIXENT just had cleared up my skin better than it's ever been. Research doctors have told me I have probably the top 3 most severe eczema they've ever seen over like a 50-year period. Obviously, there's probably people out there that just didn't make it to these research doctors. They didn't see them, but I even including those people, I'm a rare few of people with super severe eczema. So having stayed with DUPIXENT for a couple months after that, for about 2 years, I did notice that my asthma was loosening up, even when I did have asthmatic reactions to pollution, to fragrances, to chemicals. I didn't have to use my inhaler. I used to need to use that anytime I had an asthmatic reaction, just because once I start tightening up, it's not going to go away. Like, it doesn't matter if I relax, it doesn't matter if I go to a clean room. Once my airways start swelling up for the asthma attack, it's not going away. Well, having been on DUPIXENT for about 2 years and having my IgEs dropped by 10 times and stayed at that level for 3 to 4 months, my asthma did start turning around. So it seemed like the IgEs had dropped from 24,000 down to 2,800, and the body just needed time to adjust and react to less amount of IgEs causing havoc and telling the body to do crazy things. So asthma is starting to loosen up more and more, and just it wasn't really super obvious that I was getting better, but I did notice that I was using my inhalers and nebulizers less and less, and now I only use that for maybe like 30 seconds or a minute if I have an attack, and then my attack will go away. So I'm really happy about that, and it's allowed me to do a lot more. I'm able to exercise now without having an asthma attack. I'm able to walk on the treadmill for about an hour, whereas before, if I did it for like 30 seconds or a minute, I'll have an asthma attack. And like I said, whenever I get an asthma attack, it doesn't slow down, it doesn't go away, so I can't continue exercising. Like I said, I couldn't run as a kid, I couldn't laugh as a kid, I couldn't even get excited without triggering my asthma, and now I'm able to exercise. And I did a video about swimming, and I could do that just fine now. So that's how far my asthma has improved, being on DUPIXENT for about 2.5 years. The allergies seems to be even slower than the asthma improvements. The allergies, I'm just noticing certain improvements now, whereas the asthma started improving probably three or 4 months ago. But the allergies, I'm able to, so for the food allergies, I'm able to eat a little bit more chicken now, which is one of the more severe foods that I could still tolerate, that I wouldn't go immediately into anaphylactic shock. But when I first started DUPIXENT, if I ate chicken, my reactions would last for maybe 2 or 3 months. So one bite of chicken will cause an allergic reaction of inflammation and skin flaking and swelling and internal inflammation for 2 or 3 months. Now, DUPIXENT has improved my chicken allergies to the point where, I can eat it and have, probably some mucus and some swelling internally for maybe 2 or 3 days, but that's it. And so that is a huge change that I just wasn't expecting. I did know, because of theoretically reducing the IgE should reduce a lot of these allergic reactions, but I just didn't see it for months and months. When the IgEs first started coming down from 24,000, I didn't feel any better with my food allergies. I did feel the internal inflammation and reactions improving earlier than that. So I was able to start exercising, and I used to have tendonitis just because my allergic reactions were also damaging my joints and everywhere, and my back, and even my eyesight was being damaged by allergic reactions and inflammations. So all that stuff did improve earlier, and so DUPIXENT really does have this long-term therapeutic effect, and it's not a steroid. It works fundamentally by basically switching off these two signals that your immune system sends out that causes a lot of these allergic reactions and inflammations. It turns off the IL-4, interleukin 4, and IL-13, interleukin 13, and these also kind of feed on itself. So if you don't have DUPIXENT in there switching these off, once the IL-4 and the IL-13 gets in the body, it just triggers more IL-4 and IL-13 to trigger even more allergic reactions and IgE production. So once you turn off that cycle, it takes a while for the body to get rid of all those excess IL-4 and IL-13 and really let the body heal. I don't know if you can say DUPIXENT is directly causing improvements over time. I think it's DUPIXENT switch these off, and it takes the body and internal systems a while to catch up and to incorporate all these changes and for that to show up. And I think just from my personal experience, I think these benefits take longer for people who have had their disease longer. And I literally have all three of my conditions, eczema, asthma, and allergies, all my life. I'm 36. So all of this inflammation and damage to my skin, my lungs, my airways, and my joints, and my eyesight, and even my brain from the inflammation, that's been going on for 36 years. And that's just not going to change overnight just because DUPIXENT is in there switching off of these IL-4 and IL-13 triggers. It takes the body even just months or years just to fix the layers of skin, and that's without any additional triggers and damage to the skin. And I constantly am still reacting to stuff, so the recovery time is you really do need patience. But then again, compared to a lifetime of being sick and having gone from such extreme, again, not being able to run, laugh, or do anything, and have to be worried about things that's going on a mile away, triggering my asthma, having all that turn around in a couple months or a year or two, that is close to a miracle. So just want to share my experience, and that's what's going on so far. Hopefully my asthma will continue to improve, so I don't even need to have the nebulizer and the inhaler with me at all times, and hopefully I can hopefully my food allergies will improve to a point where I can eat more foods. But for the time being, and with all the other medications I'm using, this is literally on all fronts the best my health has ever been. Again, DUPIXENT isn't the only medication I'm using, so I encourage you to check out my recent 2019 medical medications review, including the immunosuppressant cyclosporin that I use, and some mast cell stabilizers and antihistamines, and low-dose naltrexone and some other stuff. But again, my allergies and reactions have reduced so much that I'm finally able to reduce the amount of cyclosporin, which is immunosuppressant. Cyclosporin is more damaging to the body than DUPIXENT, and it's less of a cure or long-term treatment, and it's more of just a band-aid to kind of calm down the body's reactions. And it also makes me depressed and raise my heart blood pressure and cause all kinds of problems for me. So really glad that DUPIXENT's helping so much that I'm finally able to reduce the amount of cyclosporin. But for those of you who do have similar reactions as me, like really severe eczema, severe asthma, or really severe allergies, and you can't get DUPIXENT, one of the things I do recommend people talk to their doctors about is trying these immunosuppressants like cyclosporin. And there are other ones out there that I've tried, such as methotrexate, that's a common one, and Imuran and Cellcept. Everybody reacts to these a little bit differently, so you gotta just try each one, kind of see which one works best for you. But these are, for me at least, they're better than steroids, because steroids damaged the skin of people with eczema, so steroids only makes eczema worse. Like, none of these are good options. If you can get DUPIXENT, that's so much safer. But if you can't, and if your inflammations and reactions just running wild like mine used to do, the immunosuppressants like cyclosporin and Cellcept and Imuran and methotrexate, these are a good place to start and kind of calm your reactions and give your body a break while you wait for DUPIXENT. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, leave them below. I'm also going to leave the links to the 6 other DUPIXENT videos that I've done in the past, so you can kind of see the journey and kind of see what happens there. Also, oh, one more thing. Also, my eye swelling has basically gone away. As you know, DUPIXENT, one of the main side effects of DUPIXENT is eye swelling, eye irritation. Even like the eyeballs get really red, and you start tearing up a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I stretched out my injections to, like, at one point 12 weeks, just so my eyes wouldn't react that much. But over time, DUPIXENT seems to have taken better with my body, and for this latest injection, it's only been 4.5 weeks, and doing an injection that close together, which means I'm having a higher dose of DUPIXENT, it's not causing my eyes to swell up. So for those of you who just started DUPIXENT and are having eye problems and eye issues, I would suggest you stick with DUPIXENT, because again, it does have really great long-term benefits. But I also know the eye swelling, eye irritation is really difficult, and you can't function. So either you just stretch out the injection period, so you're doing a lower dose like I used to do, or a lot of these steroid eye ointments. This one is neomycin. Some people told me this worked well for them, and it's working decently for me too now. And also there are cyclosporin eye drops and some other anti-inflammatory ointments and eye drops that you can try out. The stronger ones are steroid based or immunosuppressants. But I feel like you don't have to use a lot. I didn't use a lot of this either before my eye swelling went away. So just want to add that to the update. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned and hit the subscribe button so you'll be alerted for my next update. And you got to also hit the notification button too. So again, I'm not sure where this is all going. I'm just putting it all down so you can follow my journey with me. And discover what DUPIXENT can do, because it is so new. Everything I do is basically an experiment. I basically experiment on myself and just trying to share it with you guys.